Has anyone heard of the Mannequin Cave? By the Reddit user Darkly Gathers. The Mannequin Cave is the most recent and significant subject of urban legend around our high school. It supposedly juts out from a deep tunnel of dark rock from the side of a green-gray hillside, miles away from the edge of town. You have to drive along a dirt track to even get close, and then there's 2 or 3 whole fields you need to walk through as well. A pair of hikers discovered the place and posted a bunch of pictures on social media. The flash effect made all the images look fake or photoshopped, but one of our classmates tells us he's been there himself. He swears by it that the cave is real, and that the photos are legitimate. And so, we've done what any group of teenagers would do given the circumstances. Something stupid. The 3 of us had parked up. Well, Delaney has. She's the one who drove. And we're walking now as a trio through the wild grass fields, the long blades blowing against our willow legs in the cool breeze. I glance up to the grim sky as a lone drop of rain lands on my forehead. I shouldn't be too far now. Hopefully we'll make it before the weather breaks. I hoist my book bag further up on my shoulders. We're sleeping over, of course, staying the night. Our parents all think we're at each other's houses. Lexi has the booze, I have the weed. But with every step we take closer to the cave, our anxiety grows. It's unspoken, but I can feel it radiating between us like an energy. No one wants to be the one to speak first. What had begun as an amazing and exciting idea into the bright light of the day now seems scary and short-sighted. I want to suggest turning back, about just abandoning this little excursion of ours. I really, really do. But I'm too late. Before I could come up with appropriate words, Lexi speaks. "Guys," she said, "look over there. That's it. That's the cave." She points across the fields to a cluster of low hills. The edge of one such great mound is marked by tumbled stones, and my stomach lurches uncomfortably. The rain starts to patter all around us, and so we pick up the pace. We make our way round the edge of the hill. The clustered mossy stone is confirmed to comprise the sides of the tunnel. This is it, the entrance to the Mannequin Cave. We pause at its edge and stand in silence, listening. A low rumble, like the opening note of a slow, sad song, and so soft as almost to be imperceptible, dances at the edge of our eardrums. "Are we sure about this, guys?" is what I wanted to ask, but instead, I just say, "Wow." A pause, and then, "Are we ready for this?" Delaney turns to me and grins. "You know it, girl." Lexi manages a weak smile but says nothing. "Shall we head in, then?" I ask, drawing my flashlight from the side of my book bag. "Don't know why you're asking us," mutters Lexi. "This was your idea after all, Allie." I laugh awkwardly, but she does not laugh back. She's been acting really weird lately. Even before this little excursion of ours we planned, I wasn't sure she was even going to come. I kinda wish she hadn't, to be honest, as I doubt just Delaney and I would have dared to spend the night in such a place as a duo. I click the flashlight on as the rain starts to pour and quiet thunder rolls softly in the far distance. I step 1 foot into the cave. Delaney and Lexi follow on behind. Our footsteps echo around the wide, stony walls as we push deeper into the hillside. The sounds of rain pick up before peaking and then gradually fade into the background with the accompanying rumble as we leave the entrance far behind us. The beam of Delaney's flashlight catches on something. A sentence, scrawled hastily in white across the gray-black stone of the wall. "Don't turn out the light," the message warns, and an accompanying chill shivers abruptly through my body. "Creepy," Delaney mutters, forcing a little laugh. Lexi and I join in, but there's no humor in it. This is crazy, I think to myself. I clearly don't want to be here. I'm sure they would make fun of me. Just say it. Say let's go back. But go where? All our parents think we're staying over at someone else's house. I'm working over the logistics in my head when we've thrown a corner, and the figures of the cave, namesake, finally become clear. They are more frightening by far than we were on the picture. Observed with curious amusement round a class table in the warm light of a school day. My breath catches in my throat, and I stop at once. We all do. As our flashlight beams cast dozens upon dozens of long, distorted shadows upon into the cave. The light catches on the myriad of terrible figures, mannequins, frozen grotesquely in place, once presumably a pale cream or white, but now stained in green, in gray, in brown from the grime of damp of the cave. They stood at various intervals all around, differing in height and size, but all featureless, formless, but for a pair of painted-on eyes. Some of the mannequins are looking at each other through the dark. One has its hands clasped together before it, or at least as much as the joints and the fingers would allow. One sits huddled in the cave wall, staring at the ground, and one stares right ahead, back at me. I shudder in discomfort at the disturbing scene, but Lexi, to my surprise, pushes on. She strides right past the mannequins and deeper into the cave, shouting loud as she does so. "Hello, friends!" Is she trying to prove something? To us? Or to herself, perhaps? Regardless, her words, as loud as they were, make me cringe in the relative quiet of the cave. Thunder rumbles softly in the far distance. "Lexi," I hiss, "you don't need to be so loud." She turns back to me, her eyes shining in the reflections of the flashlight, glittering bright in the beautiful shade of green of hers. "Why? They're not real, Allie. They're just dummies." She raises a hand and knocks on the head of a mannequin beside her. I don't fail to notice, however, that she hesitates before doing so. The sound reverberates ominously around the cave. "Lexi," Delaney said softly, "come on." We've been friends for years and years. Lexi does have a habit of acting strangely sometimes. She just rolls her eyes and strides off deeper into the cave. Delaney and I exchange a look, and then follow on behind, weaving our way through the silent but watchful crowd. Her phone lights up with the occasional flash as she takes photos of our surroundings. We pass the figures by, mannequin after mannequin. I hate them. And I couldn't help but make the occasional eye contact with terrible figures, wincing each time I do so. It feels like they're staring right into me. Through me, perhaps. My breathing is loud and shallow. They watch me silently as we make our way between them, and we eventually catch up to Lexi, who has come to a stop by a jagged outcrop of the cave wall. "This is the place from the pictures," she mutters, and sure enough, a series of initials have been carved into the rock. There's about 10 or so pairs. The lowermost of the pairs is RM. "Ryan March," Delaney says, "the boy from our class." "So he has been here after all," I say with surprise. I can't believe it. He didn't spend the night, though, did he? "No, I don't think so. He would have said something otherwise," said Lexi. "I can't wait to tell everyone about this. Make sure you're all recording. We can edit the footage when we get home." We set up our sleeping arrangements and begin sipping on the sprites. My nerves even started to settle a little. There's one particular terrifying moment where I mistake a mannequin just behind me for Delaney, but we laugh about it and move on. I physically pick up the mannequin with a grunt and move it slightly further away, orienting it so it's face away from our sleeping area. I start to think that maybe this could be fun after all. We could make a little fire and start chatting around it, sharing the weed, but the disagreements as to the safety of lighting a fire in a cave even as one as wide and vast as this. Mean we eventually put it out, replacing it with far less exciting portable lamps. I'm kind of relieved, to tell the truth. The jumping, flickering flames of the fire gave us unsettling life to the surrounding mannequins, growing all the larger and more silently fearsome in the illusionary dancing shadows. Occasionally my eyes fall upon the mannequin I had not noticed before, as if it had crept closer in the darkness, watching from a distance, frozen suddenly in its place. Most are standing up, but I don't fail to notice the one or two lying prone on the floor. Sleeping, one might think, if not for the wide, staring, painted eyes. I look away and back to the lamp, losing my night vision in the process. Delaney and Lexi are arguing. A disagreement has arisen about whether or not to explore deeper into the cave. What's the point in spending the night if we're not even going to explore? She asks, an edge in her voice. This is far enough, Delaney retorts. We've made it to the initials. We don't need to go any deeper. There could be anything down there. She raises her hands and shines a flashlight further into the tunnel. Unless it's my imagination, the poses of the mannequins become more contorted the deeper they go, more unnatural, bent in awkward shapes, heads screwed on backwards. The cave rumbles as Delaney brings the beam back towards Lexi. Everyone at school is going to ask why we didn't go deeper. And what are we going to tell them, What are you trying to prove exactly, Lexi? Delaney asks. She seems to have picked up the same vibe I've been noticed earlier. Excuse me? Lexi replies, sitting straight up as she does so. Lexi, it's okay to be a little scared, you know. This place is scary, I say to her, but she bristles in response. What is with you guys? I didn't say I was scared. I appreciate you not putting words in my mouth, Allie. Delaney's getting pissed off. Lexi, chill. Just take it easy. She doesn't take this well. Why'd you guys even invite me here anyways? She asks defensively. To make up the numbers? It's the alcohol talking. I know it. But if I mention that, it'll make her more angry. That's not true, Lex. Come on, you know it isn't. Isn't it? She retorts, taking another sip. Delaney stands up. Do you really hold us in such low regards? We're your fucking friends, Lexi. Why do you always do this? Always do this? Lexi replies angrily, over the low, shuddering rumbles of the cave. Fuck you guys. Fuck this. And without another word, she kicks over the lamp. It rattles as it hits the ground, and we are plunged temporarily into total darkness. Fuck's sake, Lexi, Delaney shouts. I call after her, but the girl does not respond. We hear her footsteps disappearing off into the cave, then see the beam of her flashlight appear behind the silhouettes of the mannequins. Delaney finds the lamp and she gives it a little shake. It returns, thankfully, into life as Lexi strides deliberately away. Lexi, we call after her. I make to follow, but Delaney grabs my arm. Let her cool down. She'll come back when she's ready. You know how she gets. I sit back down uneasily. I don't know, Dee. I really feel like we shouldn't be leaving her alone. Delaney scoffs. She's the one leaving us alone. She's as freaked out as we are. She'll be back. I reluctantly agree, but the night drags on and Lexi doesn't return. 30 minutes or so pass as we drink and smoke, and then a final hour. Finally, I can stand it no longer. All right, Dee. I'm freaked, okay? We've let it go on for way too long. I'm not going to be able to sleep until we're all together. Come on, let's go find her. Yeah, Delaney agrees, though she sounds a little embarrassed. Maybe she's feeling guilty about suggesting we allow her to go off by herself. Yeah, we shouldn't have let her leave like that. She has shit going on at home, doesn't she? Fuck. I shouldn't have been so confrontational. She rubs a hand over her eyes. Let's go get her. We rise to a stand, picking up the lamp, and our eyes refocus on the surroundings for the first time since Lexi disappeared. The mannequins have moved. Every single one of them. Each and every one of their heads had twisted to stare into the darkness, deeper into the tunnel, in the direction Lexi had ran off. I slammed my hand into my mouth, drunkenly and foolishly drop the lamp in the process. It takes another hit as it smacks the ground, and this time, it shatters. We are once again plunged into total suffocating darkness. Panic starts to set in. I scramble around my belt for my flashlight, but it's not there. I can't find it. Delaney, my flashlight, I can't find it. I can't fucking find it. It's okay, Allie, it's okay. Delaney tries to reassure me, but I can hear a violent tremble in her voice. I've got mine. She clicks it on and swings the beam all around us, revealing the heads of the mannequin had changed once again. They stare at us now. Every painted eye. Every single one of them. I stifle a scream, blood cold and fast in my veins. I grab onto Delaney's arm and then release her as I spy my flashlight on the ground, dropping quickly down to pick it up, fumbling for the switch. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Delaney mutters, sweat staring to bud down the side of her face. D, I hiss. What do we do? We exchange a glance. Lexi is likely still lost in the depths of the cave. Do we go after her? Or do we get the fuck out? Something moves in the darkness. We spin on the spot, beams whirling wildly across the army of silent figures, and a void-like shadow, low and creeping, and never in my direct line of sight, slithers around the edges of my vision, and indeed, the cave. It flows impossibly like water from the far and unknown depths of the tunnel, and it's large. Difficult to say how large exactly, but bigger than either Delaney and I by a considerable margin. It is snaking this way, over the dark grooves in the rocks, behind and between the shadows of the mannequins. It is coming. There were no words exchanged between Delaney and I, but we run. We tear back through the cave, back towards the entrance as fast as we could. We round the corner and slam into mannequins and knocking them over chaotically to the ground as we do so. But the entrance is nowhere in sight. At first I think it's only difficult to see because of the darkened midnight sky, but there's no sky visible at all. The cave just keeps curling around and around in a wide arc. And the mannequins do not come and end. There's only more, all staring. Where's the entrance? I scream in panic. Delaney, where's the fucking entrance? I don't know, she replies through tears. Flashlight's beams darting from side to side, casting up enormous and distorted shadows across the wall. I look back. The inky blackness from the back of the cave is closer now. Much, much closer. And as if in response to my glance, it billows like smoke up the sides of the cave walls. It reflects the scene below like an oil spillage, making it impossible to focus on. But there's something brutally single-minded and animalistic about its movements. Not looking where I'm going, I stumble over a groove in the ground, and I tumble to the floor. The beam of my flashlight goes wide. No, I scream. Please! As my flashlight clatters across the rock. I reach out for it, grabbing it and swinging back up toward the energy. The light reveals it, close and almost upon me, and yet the thing has come to a stop, angry but halted. Swirling and swarming and hissing and malvoyant, the sound echoing up all around as it billows before me. But between it and I is a mannequin. It wasn't there before. I could have sworn it. Otherwise I would have crashed right into it, surely. But there it stands facing away from me, staring up toward the entity with its arms outstretched. It glows bright as my beam of my light. I scream again and I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's Delaney. Come on, Allie, we gotta go. She hauls me up and away we sprint. The lights of our flashlight revealing the featureless faces of the mannequins. Featureless, except for, of course, those eyes, those painted eyes. Some watching us run right past, some staring back into the tunnel in the direction of the beast. Some of the mannequins stand defiant, fists raised or arms outstretched, but we pass all of them by, darting from side to side, some pointing down the tunnel, around the arcing corners ahead. The hiss of the beast grows louder and louder, like a swarm of furious alien insects. "Lexi," I sob, then louder, and I shout, "Lexi, Lexi, where are you?" There was no response but the roar of the shadows that followed behind. Up ahead, it would seem the tunnel splits off into two. Impossible, surely, since there was no such split the way down. But we are all well beyond the realms of possible now. A lone mannequin stands at the end of the process, its arms raised, fingers bent at the joint, and points to the right. The flashlight beams of both Delaney and I fall upon the last mannequin. Its light grows up in white and glow. We exchange a frantic look. The beast draws closer. We made the choice. We follow the tunnel to the right. I stare into the eyes of the mannequin as we pass by, and the mannequin stares sadly back. My lungs are on fire. My legs burn with the effort. I'm struggling to keep going, let alone in a straight line. But I risk one final glance back as we leave the figures behind. I watch the beast come to an abrupt stop, as if struck by a sudden gale, and it bursts and spreads up and out towards the wall, screaming hungrily. A dark and billowing stain beyond the illuminating white glow of a lone mannequin. I stumble and then grab onto Delaney's arm, and we run. Round the corner we race, and the entrance at last becomes visible. We haven't been back to the cave, and Lexi has not returned. The guilt I harbor for leaving her behind, it'll likely stay with me for the rest of my life. But what were we supposed to do? What would you have done? We told the police our story, and as unbelievable as it was, they were freaked though, to be sure. Based on how inconsolable we were, I presume. They've been to check the place out. They found the scratches of the initials on the wall, and the alcohol, and the equipment we've left behind. But no mannequins. No monster. No signs of Lexi. The tunnel goes much deeper than anyone anticipated, and they've called off the search for now as we await the arrival of the team of dedicated mountain and cave experts. But I still see them in my dreams. The mannequins. I wonder about their purpose, about where they came from, that last one especially. And all I can see when I try to go to sleep is that mannequin's eyes, staring sadly back into mine. Bright they were, a beautiful, bright and glittering green. Thank you all so much for listening to my new video. This is my new mic. Hopefully it's better than my last one. Sorry for all the cars noises you guys have been hearing and throughout the video. It's very busy on our street for right now. Don't know why, but it is. I really like that story. It's kind of sad that Lexi turned into a mannequin, but it's also kind of cool that she helped him in the end. That was really good, especially a turnaround in the story. But I hope you guys have a good day, month, year, everything, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.